Hello and welcome to this talk about the midwifery programmes here at Plymouth University. A really big welcome to those of you who are interested in studying the midwifery programmes with us here at Plymouth. I'm Vic and I'm the admissions tutor for our midwifery programmes. I'm also one of the midwifery lecturers and I work as a research associate for part of the week as well. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the programmes that we have on offer, what the entry requirements are for these programmes, and also what the general structure of the programme is, as well as what we are looking for in potential applicants. So first of all, I would just like to introduce you to the team. There are 13 of us in the team. We have Heather, who is the lead midwife for education. We have two associate professors, Ali James and Margaret Fisher. We have Rebecca Laws is the programme lead for the Masters programme. Margaret Fisher is the programme lead for the shortened Masters programme. Rachel Stanier is the programme lead for BSc students on the current curriculum, and Angela Thompson will be the programme lead for the BSc curriculum, which is starting in September 2021. The rest of us, we all lead specific modules which all align with our own experiences, skills and knowledge base, although we do all teach across various modules. So you will see us throughout the 3 years of your programme if you are successful in getting a place. So in terms of our courses, so our programmes are longer than the standard university academic year, so you will be in university for 45 weeks of the year and you get 7 weeks annual leave. So that works out as 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks at Easter and 3 weeks in the summer. We have our main site location is Drake's Circus campus in the centre of Plymouth, and this is where all of the theory and skills will be taught. Our programmes are approved by the NMC, which is the Nursing and Midwifery Council. This means at the end of your training, you'll be able to register as a qualified midwife with the NMC, which is a requirement to practice clinically in the UK. The structure of our programmes are 50-50 split, so this means 50% of your time you'll be in theory and 50% of your time you're in placement. So this means that it's a completely even split between the academic side of things and also the hands-on clinical placement. As a student midwife, you will be required to meet the standards and competencies set out by the NMC, and you'll work towards these over the duration of your programme. And at the end of each year, you will have that year signed off on placement. Alongside that, over the 3 years, you will also have EU requirements which you're required to complete. So that's a certain number of antenatal, postnatal checks, births, etc. There's a set amount that you must achieve by the point at which you finish your programme in order to be able to go on to the midwifery register. We're also very fortunate to have BFI accreditation for our programmes, which is the UNICEF Baby Friendly Initiative in partnership with the World Health Organization. Here you can see a list of all of our modules. So these are modules which run across first, second and third year. Each year when you move on to your next year, you'll be building on what you've learnt the previous year, and in September 2021 we have a new curriculum with new modules, and these were developed to ensure that we're encompassing all the different aspects of midwifery and the wider health and well-being of women and families, and to reflect the changing role of the midwife. So in terms of our course delivery, all of our programmes are delivered through a variety of teaching methods, and that's to ensure that it's engaging for all of our students. The theory component of the programme is delivered through modules, and all of which have different teaching methods depending on the subject that's being taught for that module. You will have lead lectures, which sometimes these will involve you undertaking pre-reading or tasks before the session. And we're also really fortunate to have some incredible skills labs, which you'll be in a lot during your training. and our skills facilities have some excellent equipment and simulation experiences to allow you to develop your clinical skills before actually doing them on real women. And we have a fantastic skills team that support us and support you as students as well. You'll also attend group and individual tutorials and seminars, and these will allow for deeper discussion and questioning to allow that development of deeper learning. Throughout your training, you'll also be attending workshops, so we sometimes have guest speakers, or we have clinicians from practice which come in and teach you, and as well as students meeting to do cross-year workshops and conferences as well, where you get a chance to learn from your peers who are further along in their training. And you also get allocated time for your own private study, and at times you will have work set as directed study that might be in preparation for a teaching session, but you'll also have time to do independent study on whatever it is that you feel you need to work on. And our overarching aim with all of our course delivery is that we want the experience to be fun and interesting and engaging throughout your training. And just like the delivery of the programme, there's also a range of assessments. So we obviously understand that students have different strengths when it comes to assessments, and students have different preferences depending on what they feel are their own strengths. So therefore we do have a range of assessments throughout the 3 years of your programme. Some more traditional types of assessments such as exams and essays, as well as presentations to the teaching team, but also your peers, and also things like storyboards. So you'll also be assessed in practice as well. So when you're on placement, that's ongoing throughout the whole year, and you have your practice signed off at the end of the year. You'll also undertake clinical examinations. These are often referred to as OSCEs. So these are active examinations where you demonstrate a clinical skill, and you'll be assessed on your ability to carry out that skill. And in the final year of the programmes, we have a project module. So this gives you the opportunity to develop a quality improvement idea. So this is an academic theory component, but equally, if you come up with a quality improvement idea, it might even be that your placement trust might be able to implement it in practice if it's a really good, feasible idea. So as I mentioned previously, you spend 50% of your degree on placement. So at Plymouth University, we link with 7 partner trusts across Devon, North Devon, Cornwall and Somerset. When you're working on placement, you are expected to work full-time hours, and you are required to work a variety of shifts depending on what your supervisor is working. So this is something to bear in mind if you're thinking about applying for this programme, because there isn't any leeway with this. You will need to work all the different shift patterns, and you will need to be able to commit to the dedicated hours required for placement, because you won't be able to qualify at the end of the 3 years without meeting those. So here you can see our clinical placement areas and the trusts that we link with. There are maternity hospitals in all of these areas, but you will also be expected to be working within the community setting as well. And as you can see from looking at this, we do cover a large geographical area, including some more rural areas as well. So again, something to consider for any applicants who will be relying on public transport. Plymouth and Cornwall are our biggest units with the highest birth rates, and these tend to be the most popular choices for applicants. So during the application process, you do have the opportunity to be able to discuss your preferences in terms of your placement area. However, we cannot guarantee that you'll get your preferred choice, and we do have limited capacity in each clinical area. So we really do urge applicants to be realistic with what clinical areas you are able to travel to when you're applying, and only give preferences that you are able to get to, because it's very rare that we're able to move people around once the program's started. So we have a variety of programs on offer, and depending on what your background is and what qualifications you already have might depend on which program you're able to apply for. So I'll just talk you through these in a little bit more detail. So we have our BSc Honours Midwifery degree. This is a 3-year full-time programme, and this is for anybody who hasn't studied at university before, so either coming in with A-levels or an access course or equivalent. We require a minimum of 120 UCAS tariff points and 5 GCSEs, grade C or 4 or above, and they must include maths, English and science, and that's non-negotiable. More details about this programme, the academic requirements, can all be found on the website, which I've put the link in a little bit later. As of September 2021, we are offering our master's programme. So this is, again, it's 3 years full-time, but this is for anybody who already has a BSc Honours degree. So at the end of the 3 years, you will qualify with a master's in midwifery and will be able to go onto the NMC register. Preferably your previous degree would be a science or health related degree and would be a 2-1 or above. However, we will consider other applications on a more individual basis. You will need to still have the 5 GCSEs, grade C or 4 or above, and again, maths, English and science. And you will also need to have done recent academic study within the last 5 years as well. And in September 2022, we will be starting our master's, our shortened master's programme. So this will be a 2 years full-time programme, and this will be available to anybody who is a qualified registered adult nurse. So at the end of the 2 years, you will qualify with a master's in midwifery and you will be able to go onto the register as a qualified midwife. Again, you still need the same GCSE profile and you need recent study within the last 10 years. And as of March 2022, we are hoping to be able to offer a blended learning option of all of the programmes I've just mentioned. However, this is still pending NMC approval. So the idea of the blended learning option is that students are able to access a lot of their theory online, and then the face-to-face and skills teaching will be delivered locally within their placement trust. So this option would also be full-time, but your time over the course of the week would be split. So you might have a day in theory and then the rest of that week may be in placement. So you'd be working part-time placement hours and doing part-time theory. However, that as a whole would make up the full-time programme. This would allow students who would struggle with attending Plymouth campus for theory, and it also allows flexibility on completing the degree from a distance as well. So the entry requirements for these programmes would be the same, and you would still need to achieve all of the same theory and practice elements as the other degrees. It's just the delivery is slightly different. So this would really only suit any applicants who consider themselves highly motivated, organised and proactive, because you will be required to manage your time very well. So more details can be given about this on any open days, and once the course is formally approved, there'll be more information published on our website. So in terms of the application process, all applications are submitted via UCAS. We unfortunately don't allow deferred entry, and we also don't take transfers from other courses or other universities. You will be required to submit a personal statement with your application where you need to outline why you want to be a midwife and why you feel you would make a good midwife and what you feel you bring to the profession. If you're successful at that stage, you will be invited to interview with us, and if at the interview stage you are successful, you would be offered a conditional place. We don't offer any unconditional places, even if you have all of your academic requirements. All of our places are conditional, and they are conditional on any outstanding academic requirements or also the occupational health assessments and DBS checks. So the really important part, what are we looking for in our student midwives and the midwives of the future? So we really want compassionate, committed, enthusiastic individuals who are willing to learn and build their own knowledge base to become evidence-based practitioners. So even more importantly, we want our student midwives to be kind and caring, and it's also really important to us that when we meet you at interview that you're able to demonstrate that you do have an understanding of what the role of a midwife is. We really love our applicants to have been able to get some sort of relevant work experience or be able to develop some transferable skills. And we also want to be able to see some personal qualities and characteristics that will make you good midwives and allow you to work inclusively as part of a team. And the other thing we need you to be able to show us is that you can demonstrate the core values and behaviours which we as midwives adhere to as well. So in terms of funding, at all of our programmes you're entitled to apply for a student loan from the Student Loans Company. Student midwives also receive a £5,000 a year grant which you aren't required to repay. There are also other means-tested loans and bursaries which some of applicants may qualify for, however that's assessed on a more individual basis dependent on household income. And also because this is a healthcare programme, if you have done a degree previously you can still apply for another student loan. So why Plymouth? So some of you may know that Plymouth is known as the Ocean City. So it's a really lovely campus. It's conveniently located right in the heart of the city, whilst also being close to the sea. It's a really lovely campus and there's loads to do in the city but also within the university. And here you've got some links to some websites where you can find more information about the university, more information from the School of Nursing and Midwifery, any admissions queries, any queries about student finance, fees, funding, and some other links there as well that you might find useful. So please do follow any of these links if you want some more information. If you're interested in midwifery, I'd really urge you to come to an open day. You'll be able to see the campus, see our skills labs, meet some of the teaching team and also some of the current students who are often there as student ambassadors. And any of us are able to answer any questions that you have. So we really hope that we can meet some of you at one of our open days soon, and best of luck to anybody who is thinking of applying to midwifery.